Hey everybody, I'm so excited. This is one of the things I've been waiting to share because I've had questions from a lot of people, and it's all these questions, it's either one of two questions. It's they've walked into my room and they go, "Oh my gosh, what are you using?" I know other teachers that would just die to have something like that. And they just can't wait to share with other people what I'm doing in my classroom. Then I have other people who are they know what Vox Nova is, but they're like, "Okay, Vox Nova, what's Vox Nova?" And they're asking me all these questions about what is Vox Nova and what does it look like? And so right now I'm excited to finally answer that question for those of you who do not know what Vox Nova is. It's a program my husband and I created for the students that I work with, and it can actually be used for anybody. But my kids are always left out. My nonverbal students with severe impairments who struggle with communication and demonstrating knowledge. This is the tool that we all need. So, I wanted to share our calendar time just because self contained teachers, this is something we all do. And this is, if I want to show one thing, this is something that we all do that we can all relate to, and we can see how we can put it in our days and see how it really saves us on time and energy and does so many things for us. So, in the mornings, we come in, they eat their breakfast, go to the bathroom, and then what do we all do? We all come to center time and we go over our routine of our what's months are they, what's the day, what's tomorrow, what was yesterday, and we get our guy Jack Hartman going. So it's all in one place. So in the morning, we go over the rules. We're not kicking, pinching, hitting, biting, throwing. We're not climbing furniture, running. We go over these rules. I take a little bit longer sometimes because if little Johnny jumped up on the countertop, I'm making sure I'm throwing emphasis over at his way, saying, "We're not climbing on the furniture." And then we move into calendar time. On the calendar time, I like to go over the morning song. And so I'll say, "Hey, good morning. How are you?"
Good morning.
And I'll press the button, "Good morning," right here. Then I like to carry around a tablet that has this program going as well. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But for the kids that don't have tablets in their hands, that cannot communicate, that don't have devices, I can kind of share my device and allow them to press my good morning button, or they can come up to the board and hit the good morning button and respond as well. Then we do our emotion song, and I like to ask everybody, "How are you doing today? How do you feel?" And I tell them I'm excited.
Excited.
And I demonstrate and use the buttons as well myself because I'm wanting them to learn to use the buttons. And some kids have goals. So my dummy account here, Janie will independently select how she feels by using talk buttons. I can go in and hit, 100% accuracy. It's either 100% or zero. And did she do it independently? Or no, Janie probably need a physical hand over hand today. So it's a physical, and then you can click just save, type in notes or something, save. And then guess what? You've taken data for that IEP goal and you can move right on. And the thing before we move on, I do like to use my tablet on my hand just because I don't want everybody in the world to see what data I'm putting down and keep it private. But I have the button here so that way it reminds me, oh, I need to take the data. So then I just look at my hand and collect the data privately on my own tablet I have on my hand. And I can easily move on and it's very discreet and you don't have everybody that sees that information. So then we go into our days of the week. And then Jack Hartman here. See how I have all of his videos up here? So I'm not having to scroll through YouTube and distract my students with all the other videos that they want to watch that's not related to calendar time, which in the past that has gotten me off track because somebody starts crying because they saw Coco Melon and we didn't get to watch that Coco Melon or Mr. Sun. So we have that. Then afterwards, we discuss the days of the week. What's today? Today's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
And I have the kids press the button. And then I can ask people, certain kids, what was yesterday? And they can tell me, and then what's tomorrow going to be? And it's just a fun way to relate, have them interact. And if your kids are nonverbal, like all my kids are, everybody is communicating. It gives a way for everybody to participate and they can demonstrate if they know this stuff or not. And like I said, it's just something about having all the stuff to where you can collect the data. Right here, it says the data, it's to have somebody count from 1 to 10 independently. So Janie's gonna count independently. And for a while, we're working on rote counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and seeing the pattern. However, I might change that later on. And so I can go back and I can change the placement of the buttons once we have memorized. Or I can turn and create another slide that's identical, but then change the placements. And that way, if I have some kids working on one, I have access to both boards. But it really allows me to tailor my needs for each individual student during a whole group activity. And, at the end, everybody works on spelling their name. It doesn't matter what age they are. Some kids in high school are still working on their names, while some elementary kids, some of them already know it and they still want to come up here and spell their names just because it's fun. So Janie, come spell your name. She comes up and
Janie.
and once they spell it, yay, you spelled your name. And they get so excited. So they're working with their names, they're working with letters and letter identification. You just hit all of it with one thing. And oh, on my personal tablet, I need to collect an IEP thing. There's a data button right here. Johnny's going to spell his name independently. So I can do that and input the information, and boom, my calendar time's over. I collected my data and we did all these things and I don't have to think twice about it. So in my next video, please check out my next video so that way you can see how to make these programs and make this work for you.